Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Today's reciters are Divya Mataji in Sanskrit and Sushil Prabhu in English from Canto 3, Chapter 21, verses 44 to 56. Divya Mataji, when you're ready, please start with the invocation 3 times. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Sushil Prabhuji. Is Divya Mataji with you? Sushil Prabhuji, you're muted. Can you unmute and...
Hare Krishna, sorry.
Sorry. Yes, is Divya Mataji there with you?
Yes, she's here.
Okay, can she start with the invocation 3 times and start reciting from text 44? Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. तथैव हरिणा क्रोधे शवेद गव्या कुञ्जटिः गोपूचर हरिभिर्मार्गैर् नाभिभिवृतम्.
Its shores abounded with deers, boars, porcupines, gorillas, elephants, baboons, lions, monkeys, mongooses, and musk deer.
परिविश्य तत्तीर्हावरम् आदिराजा सहात्मजा ददर्शास्मुनिम् आशिनं तस्मिन् हुताशनं विद्योतमानं वपुषा तपसि उग्रयुजाक्षरम् नातिक्षमं भगवता स्निग्धापङ्गवल्कनात् तद् व्यर्थामृतकला पीयूषा श्रवणेन च परं शुं पलाक्षं जातिलं चीरा वाससम् उपसंश्रित्य मलिनं यथा अर्णम् अस्मत्कृतम्.
Entering that most sacred spot with his daughter and going near the sage, the first monarch, Swinburne, saw the sage sitting in his hermitage, having just propagated the sacred fire by pouring oblations into it. His body shone most brightly. Though he had engaged in austere penance for a long time, he was not emancipated. For the Lord had cast his affectionate sidelong glance upon him, and he had also heard the nectar flowing from the moon-like words of the Lord. The sage was tall, his eyes were large, like the petals of a lotus, and he had matted locks on his head. He was clad in rags. Srimad approached and saw him to be somewhat soiled, like an unpolished gem.
अथोतजम् उपायन्तं नृदेवं प्रणतपुरा सर्पया प्रयागृहत् प्रयतिन गुहा प्रतिन रूपया.
Seeing that the monarch had come to his hermitage and was bowing before him, the sage greeted him with benediction and received him with due honor.
घृतार्हणम् आशीनां सम्यक्तं प्रणयन् मुनिः स्मरन् भगवत् आदेशम् इति अह श्लक्ष्णीय गिरा.
After receiving the sage's attention, the king sat down and was silent. Recording the instructions of the Lord, Kardama then spoke to the king as follows, delighting him with his sweet accents.
नूनं चन्द्रक्रमणं देवसता संरक्षणीयते वधाय चास्तं यस्तवं हरे शक्तिर्हि पालिनी.
The tour you have undertaken, O Lord, is surely intended to protect the virtuous and kill the demons, since you embody the protecting energy of Sri Hari.
यो अक्रन्तिव अग्नीन्द्रा वायु नाम यमधर्मा प्रचेत साम रूपानि स्थान आधत्से तस्मै शुक्लाय ते नमो.
When necessary, you assume the part of the sun god, the moon god, Agni, the god of fire, Indra, the lord of paradise, Vayu, the wind god, Yama, the god of punishment, Dharma, the god of piety, Varuna, the god presiding over the waters, all obeisances to you, who are none other than Lord Vishnu.
न यदा रथम् आस्थया जयत्रं मणिगणा अर्पितम् विस्फुर्जक कोदण्डो रथेन त्रास्य नङ्घान् स्वसायना चरणा शुनम् वेपन्यं मण्डलं भुवा विक्राशन भृतं सेनां परिजत्स्य शुमन इव तदैव सेत्वा सर्वे वर्णाश्रम निबाधनः भगवत रचिता राजन भीतिरन बता दस्युभी.
If you did not mount your victorious jeweled chariot, whose mere presence threatens culprits, if you did not produce fierce sounds by the twangling of your bow, and if you did not roam about the world like the brilliant sun, leading a huge army whose trampling feet caused the globe of the earth to tremble, then all the moral laws governing the Varna's ashrama created by the Lord himself will be broken by the rogues and rascals.
अधर्मश्च च समेधता लोलुपर व्यन कुशर्नर्भिः शायने त्वयि लोकोऽयं दास्युग्रस्तो विनक्ष्यति.
If you gave up all your thoughts of the world's situation, unrighteousness would flourish. For men who hungry only after money would be unopposed. Such miscreants would attack, and the world would perish.
अथापि पृच्छे तवावीरं यदर्थं त्वमिह तृतीयं अ, 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 तृतीयं तद्व्रियं निर्वालिकेन प्रतिपद्मामहे हृदा.
In spite, in spite of all this, I ask you, O valiant king, the purpose for which you have come here, whatever it may be, we shall carry it out without reservation.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji, for your beautiful recitation. Jyoti Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I can't see Mamta Mataji or Shriji Kishori Mataji on the participants. So what shall we?
I'll try call Mamta Mataji.
Okay. Oh, you're not feeling well.
No, really.
Okay. Do you want to call them? I'll
I'm
call
co-
Mamta Mataji.
Hello, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Shall I call Mamta Mataji and you call Shriji Kishore Mataji? See who's going to do the Manglacharan? Like
No,
prayers?
Mamta Mataji is online. Give me 1 second, please.
Okay.
Mataji, Mamta Mataji is joining us shortly.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Sorry about the delay. We were just waiting for the
I'm
facilitator.
here. I'm
Oh,
here,
okay.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. I was just going to ask someone to start the Mangalachar prayers if somebody
Please
is.
start, Mataji. Please start. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I'm not don't know on top of my head. I would need
No,
the
no.
screen.
Okay, I can start. No problem. No problem, Mataji. I'll start.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यामनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय श्री कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Jai Shri Krishna. Sorry, devotees, for the delay. I hope you can see me. Hare Krishna. I hope you all are okay. Mistakes in advance, I'm asking you because the preparation is not to the best, but I shall try my level best to give you this little bit of summary. Okay, so I think today's lesson is a continuation of the last chapter 20. We're still going on with the creation of the universe. And over here, in this chapter, there's a conversation between Manu and Kardama Muni over here. So the previous chapter was, I think it was Vidura and Maitreya. So the conversation of how Brahmaji tries to create each and the other species, I would say, the heavenly and demigods and Rakshasas and Patalas and Gandharvas and all that, how he creates which part of the body and he has to discard his body, and then new body has to be created for different varieties of species. Now we have come to to this chapter, which tells us it is just a conversation as to how this human generation or the generation of conditioned souls, how are they generated? And it is not like propagation of life, like physical attraction between two men and women, but it is more to your mentally also how Brahma tried to create the species, the same way where how Kardama Muni, main thing is how Kardama Muni is approached, and how Kardama Muni actually goes through so much of penance through thousands and thousands of years, and he gets advice from the Lord Vishnu, the creator himself. And that's also described quite well over here. So if you go by verse, I have to just go there about how many verses. There are about 56 verses in it, and so the first verse starts off with Vidura trying to say that the lineage, of Swayambhava Manu is very, very of a high character, of high this thing, and basically telling us that it is just not like physical attraction, which is propagating the species. So when we go on to the second verse, so we have two sons of Swayambhava Manu. Who are they? Priyavartan Uttanapada, and they rule the whole world. And Priyavartan Uttanapada, the 7 islands which we say, this whole world consists of 7 islands, presently consisting of the 7 planets. Yeah, the 7 planets which we have, sorry, the 5 continents, the North Pole and the South Pole. So that is the whole world, which these two kings actually ruled the whole this particular earth. And also they were just trying to mention about how Lord Ramachandra and how Yudhishthira also has been part of this world, who ruled the thing. And again, what they try to say over here is the Bhagavad Gita, normally which we hear, is about is not from Swayambhava Manu. Now this is so in one day of Brahma there are about 14 Manus, and out of that Vaivasvata Manu is in that Manu we heard the Bhagavad Gita. And Swayambhava Manu was previously ruling, but his history begins from the Varaha age. So when the Varaha avatar appeared, from then on Swayambhava Manu came on. And Bhagavad Gita of Vaivasvata Manu is different from Swayambhava Manu. So every Manu has different time period. And over here we go on to how now about the Ashtanga Yoga. So they mention about the Yoga Siddhis and the Ashtanga Yoga, and how Kardama Muni, now who is going to Kardama Muni and Devahuti. So Devahuti is the princess, basically. She will be the offering Devahuti. This whole chapter is offering Devahuti to Kardama Muni and how they do it, and how they're very, 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 very elevated people, and they know the yoga siddhis, and so the characteristics of the husband and wife are explained over here in this third verse, where the husband is a Mahayogi, he's a great mystic, and the wife is a Yoga Lakshana, as one who's advanced in yoga. So their progeny is of much higher quality. And first of all, we have to understand that we have to understand that Brahmacharya is required for perfection of self-realization, mystic power. So there's no recommendation in Vedic scriptures that one can go and enjoy material sense gratification at one's whim as one likes. This is what Srila Prabhupada, is that it is not said in Vedic scriptures. So if you go upon the Vedic scriptures, there's a way of how you progenate, it's not like it's not for sense gratification we get children. So again, about how the children of Brahma, how they generated children after marrying. So of the two daughters of Swayambhava Manu. So that's again a question the Rishi is asking. So all those people who procreate are called Prajapatis, where Brahma is also known as Prajapati. And so Brahma's son Swayambhava Manu is also known as Prajapati. So all those are procreators are called as Brahmapati. So also Daksha, and the daughters are Akuti and Prasuti. And say they have so these were basically dedicated people. Imagine before, remember Brahma had 4 Kumaras who didn't want to come into this material world, but then somebody has to take on this role. So this is where Swayambhava Manu comes into this picture, and his role is to procreate number of children so that it could populate the entire universe. Now Vidura is asking, how did they actually beget these children in the beginning of the universe? So this is when Kardama Muni comes, Kardama Muni comes over here into this picture. Over here, that Kardama Muni, he was a great ascetic, and he used to meditate for tens and thousands of years. Now we can't do in Kali Yuga, but in Satya Yuga and before that, they used to meditate thousands and thousands of years. And after meditation, then they attain perfection. By this meditation only, then they can get the siddhas, or this immense powers where they can. They have this mystic powers where they can see forward into the future, or if they have great determination, then they can see Lord Narayana himself. But in age of Kali, nothing else except, so Kalau naste eva naste eva naste eva. There is no other alternative than Hare Nama, chanting the holy name of the Lord in the Kali Yuga. So the Vedic literature actually states 3 times that in this age of Kali, Kalau naste eva naste eva naste eva. There is, so 3 times it tells that Hare Nama is the only thing in Kali Yuga. So in this time when during the when Kardama Muni, so basically Kardama Muni, when he will be meditating, and then he will concentrate on the Lord, and then he himself will see the Lord, and he will actually ask his blessings, and from his blessings then comes then with the acceptance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he will go ahead. That time Lord also will basically come and say that he'll be their child. So this happens all in Satya Yuga, So Satya Yuga, what happens is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he basically, after Kardama Muni actually meditates, then he himself only comes. He becomes, he presents himself over there and he shows himself. And not everybody can see his form, only person who have meditated through that, they get the special divine power through which they can see the opulent form of the Lord. So this opulent form of the Lord, which is called the Sabdam Brahma, that's the form of the Lord. It is clearly indicated in the Vedic literature. So it's not that Kardama Muni is just imagining. So you can see that this is also clearly said that how the Lord looks like. So the Lord showed to Kardama Muni by his divine grace. Yeah, this is described in the Vedic literatures. This is what Srila Prabhupada is writing. So again, it is being very much glorified, and how the presence of the Lord it's all described in Brahma Samhita. The way how Brahma Samhita, Brahmaji, how describes the Lord, that's the way how Brahma saw the Lord, and that is not imaginary because that is what Brahma saw. Brahmaji, he saw the Lord. And how we describe every time, like how we wear that yellow garment, and he wears a lotus flower, and he has a Kaustubha jewel, and he's quite effulgent. He has beautiful dark locks of hair, and obviously the Lord is never ever contaminated with this material things, so he's free of all this material contamination. So that's the form of the Lord which Kardama Muni sees. And again, the next verse goes on to describe how the crown is, and the earrings, and his beautiful four the conch, the disc. You have the Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. So the Shankha is the conch, the Chakra is the disc, the Gada is the mace, and then we have the Padma is the white lily. And always the Lord is smiling, happily smiling, and by the smile your heart really melts down. Yeah. So then we discovered the Kaustubha jewel, and how the Lord stood on the shoulders of Garuda. So how over here Srila Prabhupada is trying to explain in this verse that by performing yoga, Kardama Muni actually saw how the Supreme Lord was, and this yoga basically helps. So the way how we do for us yoga is by being in the process of Krishna consciousness. And by being in this Krishna consciousness, then we, by immersing ourselves in Lord Krishna, then he will give us the form to see. So we can see Krishna directly. That is what it is being said of here. But the form of Krishna described in the authoritative Vedic literature, Brahma Samhita, as we said earlier, like his abode is made of Chintamani stone, and then the Lord plays there as a cowherd boy, served by many gopis. These are all very authoritative, and a Krishna conscious person will actually take it as it is. So we don't try to concord a thing, or don't try to imagine. So we go with that description, and that is how I feel all these, all these paintings and all are done. By hearing these, then you get a form or a figure, and then you try to picturize the Lord like that. Now, the next verse goes on to say that when Kardama Muni actually saw the Supreme Personality God in person, he was literally satisfied. He became Atmarama, really, really fully satisfied, and his desire was fulfilled. And then obviously he pays his humble obeisances and onto the lotus feet of the Lord. And once he becomes harsha, like his heart becomes really full of the love of God, and then he offers prayers. So Srila Prabhupada is trying to say that in this 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, this realization of the personal form of the Lord is called the perfection of yoga. That is the perfection of yoga. So basically, people sit in the samadhi, re-samadhi, after meditation. Then after so much of yoga, then they can see the Supreme Personality of God in his partial form, that is as a Paramatma, as he is. I mean, there's a lot to see into how the yoga goes into different sections. But I think for us, for Krishna conscious people, I think performing that proper physical yoga becomes really difficult for us. So for us, it is Bhakti Yoga is the best way to achieve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And for real devotees of Bhakti Yoga, accept only the material necessities of life absolutely needed to maintain the body and soul together. So we don't go into all kinds of different things. We just pray to God, do the service of the Lord, and in that we can get the satisfaction, which how Kadma Muni gets it after doing lots of meditation. But as we are in Kali Yuga, we can't do all that. So over here, after seeing Kadma Muni, after seeing the Lord, so basically this chapter actually tells how Kadma Muni sees the Lord, and then his expression. So he says, "My power of sight is now fulfilled, having attained the great perfection of sight of you." So anybody who has this beautiful, what should I say, blessings of the Lord, once that glance of the Lord gives you so much of satisfaction that your hunger, your eyes, and the hunger in the eyes, the hunger in the heart, the hunger in everything, it just satisfies. The moment you see He's so, what do I say? Even when you eat physical material, even if you feel like, suppose if you have material food, when you're hungry, you eat. If you want to feel like eating a sweet or a food or anything, then what happens is after some time, because materialistic things, they tend to disappear, but spiritual things will always tend to remain forever. So the sight of Krishna or sight of the Lord, you become so satisfied in hunger, in your spiritual hunger, that you'll not ask for anything. So Sri Kardama Muni over here, he's trying to say that his power of sight is now fulfilled because he's seeing Krishna, he's seeing the Lord Narayana in his opulent form. And after seeing that, oh my God, and he's totally very thoroughly satisfied. And Kadma Muni is trying to say that after many years of meditation, many successive births of meditation, then these advanced yogis, they still aspire to see your transcendental form. So the Lord's transcendental form is very rare to see, and which Kadma Muni is trying to say how lucky he is that he was able to see the Lord in that form. And also, what happens? Supreme Personality, Godhead Avya, is described as the reservoir. Obviously, it is all with Shuddha Sattva. The opulences of the Lord is all Shuddha Sattva. So, the reservoir of all goodness and all pleasure. So, unless one is, over here, the example over here is, unless we are situated in the mode of goodness, we can't experience that pleasure. So, if we are adulterated with passion or with tamas, then there will always be, you will not have the real satisfaction. But if you're in Shuddha Sattva Guna, then you can really feel the satisfaction of the Lord. So over here, Kadma Muni is trying to say that your Lordship is the reservoir. So he's trying to explain over here, is the Lord is the reservoir of all the goodness. And by actually seeing the Lord face to face, now his sight is perfect. And for a devotee, obviously, the perfection of senses is to engage in the service of the Lord. So what we should do is we should use all our senses in the service of the Lord. So we use our eyes to see. The sense of sight is when engaged in seeing the beauty of the Lord. That then you feel it is perfected. And your hearing senses, when you engage in hearing the glories of the Lord, then the hearing sense is perfected. And the taste, when you enjoy eating the prasadam, then the sense of taste is perfected. Like that way, all the senses, which we have, that is only perfected when we use it in the relationship with the Lord. So that is what is Bhakti Yoga, which all of us are doing all the time. Yeah. And that prevents us from being materially attached from this conditional life. So Kardama Muni again, he's trying to admit that seeing the Lord personally in Bhakti Yoga is the perfection of sight. So we are, whoever in Krishna consciousness, we are trying a level best to see the Lord in Bhakti Yoga. So in that way, we are following the right path. So again, Kardama Muni is trying to explain like how the Lord's lotus feet, the lotus feet, they are it's just like a boat. That is the main path for us from which these feet only take us from this ocean of this material existence. From there, to help us to cross the ocean. So people who go into this materialistic pleasures will never ever understand this. And so here in the Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter, they're trying to say that there are two kinds of devotees, one who desire material pleasures and one who desire nothing but service of the Lord. So the one who actually desires nothing but the service of the Lord is the one we should be aiming for. Because material pleasure means you'll be in the same material life and you can't get out of this existence. That is like any other animal could do. But as a human being, we all know that because we have this thing called consciousness and the intelligence to understand the consciousness, we should not be behaving like any other animal, and we should try to achieve in this Manushya Jiva, in this existence of a man, go into Bhakti Yoga and try to get out of this material existence. So over here, the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, whatever a person aspires to receive from me, I offer him as he desires. So we have to be really very careful what we desire, because Lord is very pleasing. He will give you whatever you want. So because we wanted to be free, we had to come up from the Supreme Personality of Godhead's abode, Goloka Vrindavan. Once we were all over there, but since we were so desirous to come to this material world, God had to say, okay, go and enjoy yourself, and then whenever you're free, then you come back, basically as a parent. So over here, Kardama Muni is trying to say that just for the sake of marriage, to get married in life and to satisfy his lustful desire, I too have sought the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the source of everything. You're like a so Kardama Muni is actually wanting to have a wife, and to get married, but then he also wants to take the acceptance of the Lord. He really wants the Lord to say that, okay, what I'm doing, is that right or not? And obviously, for the propagation of species and this is the role given to Kardama Muni over here. So, but then before even doing anything, he's taking the acceptance of the Lord over here by actually doing this penance and trying to see the Lord, and then from that he would get the knowledge. So over here, they're trying to tell now that how important is how important is, a human being, a man and woman, both of them are equally important. But over here, they're also trying to say the importance of how a wife is also very, very necessary. And that is to help the man in his spiritual life and also in the material advancement. So they're trying to describe over here that nowadays we have physical, it is like this materialistic life, we are all about selfish about ourselves. But before, they used to go through lots of pain to search for a perfect wife for a person so that the family propagates in a proper way. So they take real pain to go and search for the proper girl for the person. So the personalities don't clash, they don't fight, and the house goes well and the household is much more comfortable. So over here, Kardama Muni wanted to have a wife because he says a wife is necessary to assist in spiritual and material advancement. And it is said that a wife is the fulfillment of all desires in religion, economic development, and sense gratification. If one has a nice wife, he is to be considered a most fortunate man. So they say behind every successful man is a woman, they say, right? So olden times, this is what they would do. But nowadays, when you see in this present generation or present yuga, everybody is not into helping the other person. They are all into themselves, right? They become so selfish. So when you become selfish, then obviously your importance goes down. So when you think about yourself, then your importance go down. But when you think of others, then your importance really goes up. So it is so important to have the right partner in your life because that will help you grow in spiritual life and also in materialistic life, also in economic development, and also in sense gratification. So before marrying, one should select a wife of like disposition and not be enamored by beauty or any other features for sense gratification. So in the 12th canto of Bhagavatam, it is said that in Kali Yuga, marriage will be based on the consideration of sex life. As soon there is deficiency in sex life, the question of divorce will arise. That's what Srila Prabhupada has written down, which is so very true because people are so much after physical or sense gratification. So, but you can understand that spiritual advancement is something, it grows more and more. But materialistic gratification, it dies very quickly. So that's why you have multiple marriages now, because they're all thinking materialistically. So they just a little bit, hardly they married a couple of years and then they're divorced. And then they marry a couple of another partner, they go and marry and then they're divorced. So you can imagine how that is because of sense gratification. But if olden times, nowadays you see generations, also the older generations, they have only one partner and they've been living there for 50, 60, 70, 80 years. And nowadays you can see this generation in UK and all, when you see 80 years, 90 years, I see patients over there. They have only 15 years, they've met boyfriend, girlfriend, and they have lived their life all throughout. That is their own companion. But nowadays generation, you will never see that. So we are Kardama Muni. Now he could have asked his benediction from Uma, that if anybody wants a good wife, he should worship Uma. Uma is again Shiva's wife, Parvati. But what happens is, normally what happens if the olden times of the girls used to worship Shiva for a good husband and the men worships Gauri for a good wife. But what Kardama Muni does over here, he worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why? Because according to the scriptures in the Bhagavatam, that everyone, whether he is full of desires, has no desire, or desires liberation, should worship the Supreme Lord. That is what it is said. And over here it is said that of these three classes of men, one tries to be happy by fulfillment of material desires, another wants to be happy by becoming one with the Supreme, and another, the perfect man, is a devotee. So he does not want anything in return from the personality of Godhead. He only wants to render transcendental loving service. So that is actually that is the best class of men. So the one who does not want anything from the Lord is the best class. And because once the moment you start worshipping the Lord, your desires will be fulfilled. So that is the advantage of worshipping the Lord, rather than trying to worship for yourself, that you want to be powerful. So over here, Gadna Muni, the next verse is trying to say that you are the master and you are the, obviously, under your direction, all of us, they are literally, we are engaged in, constantly engaged in satisfying our desires, wish they could at least, everybody could be free of this material bondage and then listen to you or see you as the main personality of Godhead, then we would not be actually in this material world. And he's also trying to say that anybody who has taken shelter under your lotus feet, they can be freed from this material body and from this repeated cycle of birth and death. So now again, the time factor is so very important, and so the describing about the wheel, the Kala Chakra, So he's trying to describe how these have 3 leaves and they rotate around the axis. So it has 13 spokes, 360 joints, 6 rims, and numberless leaves. So this I have to go into a bit more in detail. Not today, but some other day I will. But what happens over here is that if we are at the lotus feet of your Lord, then nothing can touch us. Nothing can touch us. Even the time will also not be able to touch the lifespan of a devotee. And so again, Gadna Muni is again glorifying the Lord, that you alone has created the universe, and so you wanted to desire to create this universe, so you create it, you maintain, and again you destroy by your own energies, and which are also under the control of Yogamaya, the second energy. So just as a spider, how he describes it, he analyzes it and try to say like how a spider creates a web, then again it tries to destroy the whole web. So over here, this explanation of the Lord, of glorifying of the Lord itself by Gadna Muni suggests that God is the only one, and he can hear the prayers of the devotees. And he is Satchidananda Vigraha, so he is the form of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. So again, it goes on trying to say that even though it is not the Lord's desire, he still tries to create all these material worlds and universes only for our satisfaction. So please let your mercy be on us so that we can just follow you in a way, and he's trying to explain show over here that how the Lord is dressed up with this tulsi leaves, the wreath of tulsi leaves. And Gadna Muni goes on to say that he is obviously he's paying his humble obeisances unto his lotus feet, and also says it is really worthy to take shelter, and because people can't understand, so people who the real yogis, they understand the importance of the Lord, whereas a person who does not have the knowledge will not understand why is he going on praying on this lotus feet, So we have to this knowledge only will come unless you're in Krishna consciousness. It is difficult for us to understand. If you are so much into your materialistic things, then it's difficult for us to understand the real power of Vishnu. So here, this is again a conversation going on between Maitreya and Vidura. So over here, Maitreya Muni is trying to say that how Lord Vishnu so beautiful he looks. He's standing on Garuda, and then how the Lord will start now talking. Over here, when the Lord speaks, obviously he speaks from the transcendental world. So his words they are nectarian and they're eternal. And so the sound of the material world is hackened and subject to an end. So the sound of the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, everlastingly increases the enthusiasm of the chanter. So if you repeat these monotonous material words, you will feel exhausted. But if he chants Hare Krishna 24 hours a day, you never feel exhausted. Rather, you will feel encouraged to continue chanting. So when the Lord replied to the sage Kardama, the word Vachas Smritena is specifically mentioned since he spoke from the transcendental world. So he bestows the transcendental benediction upon because he's always causelessly merciful towards devotees. So God is he never differentiates between any of his devotees. So the Supreme Lord said, the answering Supreme Lord is saying that because you wanted me and I knew what was there in your mind, I have already arranged that for which you have worshipped me well through your mental and sensory discipline. So over here, what we get from this verse is that anything you ask with sincere devotion, that will happen. And so you ask for the Lord sincerely, not with any this thing, you will see it manifest. And then he said, for those who serve me in devotion by worshipping me, especially persons like you who have given up everything unto me, there is never any question of frustration. So you will never be frustrated if you do it sincerely. So the Lord is trying to tell Kardama Muni, that nothing goes waste over here. So again, he's trying to hear how Swayambhava Manu, the son of Lord Brahma, how he's ruling the world. Of this thing is mentioned in the next verse. So what the Lord is saying is that Swayambhava Manu, he is going to come to you now. Now, who is Swayambhava Manu? He is really expert in his religious activities. And then he will come with Satarupa, his queen, and they want to see you. So this is what the Lord will warn Kardama Muni. And what they say, he has a grown-up daughter and she's ready for marriage. And basically the Lord is being the, he is bringing the prastav, he's bringing the, what do you say the English word? Oh, he's actually telling like, okay, this is the right daughter for you, like girl to get married. So she has good, and he's also trying to glorify the girl that she has a good character and all good qualities, and she's also searching for a good husband, and basically you're suitable for her and she's suitable for you. So he's like a middleman over there. And then he says that she's also will be the type you have been, see the way how you have been thinking in your heart, and she is also similar, so she will soon be yours, and then she will serve you to your heart's content. So this is where the Lord is telling Kardama. Now also in the future, the Lord says that she will bring in 9 daughters, and through the daughters the sages will duly beget children. So then from them comes the new generation, and then with your heart. So you will attain me. This is what the Lord will say, that by obviously with your meditation, you will attain me. So basically, the Lord is trying to tell Kardama Muni how he will attain to see the Lord. And then the Lord also tells Kardama Muni that he himself will come as his child. So, along with your 9 daughters, then that time I will instruct her in the system of philosophy that deals with the ultimate principles. So basically, he's saying that to the 9 daughters and to the son, he himself, the Lord will appear. And then having spoken to Kardama Muni, then the Lord, who reveals himself only when the senses are in Krishna consciousness, then the Lord departs from that lake called Bindu Sarovara, which was encircled by the river Saraswati. So this Bindu Sarovara is formed because the Lord was so much overwhelmed that with so much happiness that he had a teardrop coming from his eyes that formed a Sarovar, a lake. And that is encircled by the river Saraswati. That's called Bindu Sarovar. So the Lord, when the Lord then left, and the Kardama Muni started looking on that way, and the Lord went off to Vaikuntha. And so the Kardama Muni stood listening as the hymns forming the basis of Samaveda were vibrated by the flapping wings of the Samaveda was okay. Boy Garuda was flapping, and then they could hear the Samaveda. And after the Lord went, then Kardama again awaited at the bank of the Bindu Sarovara for the time, and then what happens? Then Emperor Manu and his wife, they mount on the chariot, and then they bring the daughter along with them, and they travel all over the earth. Then they reach the sage, the hermit, the house of the sage, and as told by Lord. Then I think again they're trying to say that they explain how the lake Bindu Sarovara is full of beautiful trees and creepers and rich, beautiful flowers, animals, birds. So that obviously where the Lord comes in, it becomes very, very auspicious, because it's the drop of tear from the Lord. And that is so auspicious, that lake, and it becomes so beautiful. So it is surrounded by beauty all the time. You can see how the transcendental qualities fills and it becomes so intoxicated. So all the animals will be very, very intoxicated. I'll be dancing so much around the Sarovar. They are trying to explain like what sort of trees are flowering, all the different flowering trees are situated in that area. And so beautiful birds. So trees like Kadamba, Champaka, Ashoka, Karanja, Bakula, Asana, Kunda, Mandara, Kuttaja, mango trees. And we have like all the swans, cranes, chakravakas, chakoras, birds, ospreys. They all start playing up there. And then we have beautiful animals like deers, elephants, baboons, lions, monkeys, mongooses, and boars, porcupines. All of them are literally filling up that place. So then Swayambhava Muni, then he sees the Manu. He sees Swayambhava Manu. Then he sees Kardama Muni, sitting over there and doing sacrifice. He could see that the Muni is really quite exuberant, even though he has been in austere penance for a long time. He was not like emaciated like all the other people who go into penance, but he had this effulgence from him, and he could see. He was trying to describe how the sage looks quite handsome. His eyes are like beautiful, like petals of a lotus, and his hair is very matted. So sages those times were very, very handsome. So obviously the father will try to look for a handsome child for the daughter. Yeah, so he's trying to see. Now the Kardama Muni will start going to the king, and then the sage greets him, and obviously as a guest he brings him with great honor. So the king obviously sit down, and then he, recalling the instruction of the Lord, so the king then spoke to the king as follows, letting him, okay. So Kardama Muni just remembers what the Lord Supreme Personality of Godhead has told him, and then so he just, because the king obviously protects the whole kingdom, so Kardama Muni is trying to say that you have taken this big travel, you have traveled all over the world to come here. Obviously your intention is to protect the virtuous and kill the demons who look after their own country. So Kardama Muni is saying that when necessary, you take to Swayambhava Manu, basically. What different forms he can take. Like he can be the sun god, the moon god, Agni, the god of fire, the lord of paradise, Vayu, wind god, Yama, Dharma, any form he can take. So you are none other than Lord Vishnu. So that time over here in this purport, since the sage Kardama was Brahmana and Swayambhava was a Kshatriya, the sage is not supposed to offer obeisances to the king because socially his position was greater than the king. But he offered his obeisances to Swayambhava Manu because Manu, the king and emperor, he was a representative of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is always worshipable regardless of whether one is a Brahmana, Kshatriya or Shudra. So they're showing that there's no difference in any caste as long as it's the Lord. He's trying to describe over here that how the Lord, how Swayambhava Manu, trying to describe him over here that Kardama Muni is that if you did not obviously go on a chariot or if you did not produce any, with his bow, he tried to show his greatness. If he did not show that, then everybody will be not afraid of him and there'll be all chaos over here. So because the greatness is there in the king, he behaves like a king. Everything is under control. Yeah, if you do not control, then obviously unrighteousness would stay, and then people would become more materialistic, and then obviously the world would they would fight among themselves, and the world would perish. So Swayambhava Manu was trying to keep everything under control. So in spite of all this, I ask you, O valiant king, why have you come here? So he wants to ask the purpose. Why did the king come here? He knows everything, but he's trying to ask. Yeah. Please let me know whatever it is, and we shall do it. So this is how this chapter ends. So the whole chapter is about how Kardama Muni is how he is being guided by the lordships, so that to go into a family life, and how the Lord actually helps Kardama Muni in choosing a wife, and in a way the Lord chooses the wife for Kardama Muni, and what is the importance of marriage, and why is it important to choose the right partner to propagate the species of life. So people just nowadays in marriages, people just go and go for sense gratification or lust to just fulfill the lust. So therefore they end up choosing wrong partners. So I think somehow or the other we should go back to those things where we should take the help of the parents, who or the grandparents who can see things more than the child who is looking after the partner. But nowadays it is reversed. The cycle is reversed. The parents say, "Oh, let him. He has to live, so let him choose his partner." But when you look at it, the person who chooses the partner is the youngest person in the whole family. If you look at the grandparents and parents and the children, the person who chooses his partner, they go for their own physical attractions, but the grandparents and the parents, they see the spiritual attraction over there, and they see how they can be advanced spiritually. And obviously, once you advance spiritually, then your economic growth and every growth will come. So that part of it lacks in the modern, in the younger generation. So that is why we should, I feel we should fall back to the previous way of how they used to choose the partners. Of course, I mean, along with even previously also, they would always, they would never force somebody to marry someone in the olden times. Also, they would see whether they like each other or not, but rather than just doing everything on your own. So I think I'll end the so I'm really sorry for a very broken description of the chapter I've given today. Please forgive me for my offenses. So if you have any questions, you can ask. I'll try to answer. If there are no questions, then should we close then with the Vacha Kalpa prayers?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Vacha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvaiva
Patitanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Anant-koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the wonderful
Thank you so
class.
much.
Hare Krishna. Dandavata
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Prabhupada,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare
Bhagavatam ki
Krishna.
jai.
Jai Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.